Okay. Any questions about what was covered by the PowerPoint slides or video? We covered a little bit, we covered the implementation of the library system and a little bit of refactoring. We did not complete it. We will complete that next week. We talked about two important refactoring principles, moving methods and extracting methods. We'll see at least one more major refactoring approach in the coming weeks, and that will be one of the most central themes or central ideas from the course. Do you have any questions? Anyone about the subject?
I had a question about the refactoring, but it seems like maybe next week you're going to be covering it. It's using generics.
Yeah, that we will be covering next week. Yeah, but still, you could ask the question. It doesn't matter. You could definitely ask that now.
Yeah, but it seems to me that when we use the generics I guess to include a type and I guess for the search key, it's not trivial, right? Because then some of the methods then have to change the class types, and implementation now have to be able to accept that new type and things like that, which is how generic works. I understand that, but it almost seems like you have to then go back to basics to understand what generic is and what it does,
right,
in order to be using it in that sense.
Yes.
And it wasn't so clear in the reading that this is not trivia. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is not as true. I mean, it's not one of those refactoring things that can be easily applied. It is not. I mean, when you say refactoring, it would mean generally means the rules are fairly simple. I agree that generics is by no means a trivial subject in Java. It is extremely hard to understand generics. Yes. So in that sense, it is not an easy thing to apply. So I wouldn't. I agree with you completely that it is unlike the general techniques that we think of when we talk about refactoring, that it has to be simple. This is not really simple. Yes, I agree. I agree with that. Although,
So I guess building on that, the 2
yeah, only thing
Go
is,
ahead.
yeah, only thing is, unlike some other refactoring techniques, generics is unlikely to bring in too many bugs.
Okay.
Yeah, but because you are simply trying to reduce the size of the code. So when you introduce when you say something is going to be a generic type, then I think actually the robustness of the code is increased because you have to do fewer castings and stuff like that. So I think it is. I don't think. I mean, I feel that it is not as buggy as some other stuff, but it is definitely harder. Yeah, you had a question when I started talking.
Okay. So yeah. So the second part is you had move two I guess key refactoring that was covered was move method or extract method.
Mm-hmm.
Those two rules. So it seems like those are straightforward. If you see comments in the code or places where people are trying to explain what the code does, you might want to start thinking about putting that
Yeah,
into the
right.
method.
Yeah, yeah. There are two situations where you want to extract a method, at least two. One is you're thinking that this method is too long. I mean, then it is harder to understand such a method. So maybe then you also see, as you just mentioned, oh, well, I need to explain what I am doing here. It means you are doing out of the something that is not quite what this method is supposed to be doing. Otherwise, why would you want to explain it? That at least that thought should arise in our minds when we suddenly see, I need to explain what I'm doing here. You know, then I mean, it could be because it is a slightly difficult um, step. That is quite possible, but it could also be because you are doing something different from what the method is supposed to be doing, in which case you want to extract it. Yeah, but moving a method is, of course, taking it from one class to another. It could be because you are adding extra functionality to a class so that it is doing more things than it should be doing. Or it could be because it requires a lot of importing of data from other classes, which is not quite in the object-oriented style. You should be putting methods in the middle of data as opposed to bringing in data from other places.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I just think that with the example of the books and moving that method into the books class,
Mm-hmm.
that might be something simple, but if somebody was going to do that move extraction with another complicated method where it's being used multiple places, they will have to consider what the impact will be, right?
When you move to
So
multiple,
let's say there was a method.
yeah, right, okay. Are you speaking?
No, with data from other
I
classes,
yeah, sorry,
and you
could you,
decide.
I think I missed some of the words you spoke for whatever reason.
Internet is.
Oh, okay, yeah, maybe it is unstable here, or I don't know where it, yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting cut off. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm getting the
it's
guitar
me.
sound.
It's me. I'm getting cut off. That's the question later.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, Rose has an issue with the internet. There is a very nice book by, I think, Martin Fowler on refactoring. If I can, maybe I will see if I can show you a copy of it. I mean, copy meaning on Amazon or something. Yeah, let me go ahead and share the screen. At least you should be aware that there is such a book. Okay, let me go ahead and there is a share button. Okay. Yeah, this is the book I was just mentioning. Refactoring, Improving the Design of Existing Code by Martin Fowler. It's a highly readable book, a real fun book to read. And it has a number of refactoring techniques all in one place, so that if you want to be knowing about the refactoring techniques, this is the only place you need to go to, really speaking. He starts with a case study of an object-oriented system that somebody designed, and then critiques it and shows why it is not a properly designed system. And then it's about a video rental facility, an actual system that was developed. And then he shows all the defects of that particular object-oriented system, or supposed to be object-oriented. It is, he shows why it is not a properly constructed system. It is not following the principles of object-oriented design. And that is all very, very entertaining discussion, very nice discussion. And then finally he says, he was the author of that system. He was the designer and implementer of that system. And he says he learned a lot afterwards. And then he shows a better design. He refactors it and shows how it should have been designed. And then he goes into the refactoring rules. Refactoring things can be as simple as renaming a variable to doing things like introducing inheritance and stuff like that. So real nice book to read. Okay. I don't know, Rose, if you want to ask that question again or continue with your comment, or if anyone else has a question. All right, if there are no more questions, I'm going to stop recording. And like all